Larry Fink, a name you might have never heard of. A man who controls all the top companies. Somebody who controls the food supply, the arms industry, and the media. He's now taking over the governments. This man is arguably the most powerful man on planet Earth.
The guy running BlackRock is really the president of the United States. If we look at the kind of influence he's got in every industry, Joe.
Los Angeles is where our story begins. In 1952, Larry Fink was born into a wealthy family. From the beginning, Larry had a strong desire for power. He wanted to join politics until he knew that politics is not where the real power is. Money is. After completing an MBA in real estate at UCLA in 1976, Fink joined First Boston, an investment bank where Fink managed the bond department. He added around $1 billion to the First Boston's bottom line. He became the highest paid employee at First Boston. Everybody became a fan of him. Everything was going great. Fink's dream of becoming the CEO one day and managing all the money was now looking possible. Until the year 1986 came. The bond department lost $100 million. That was all due to Fink's predictions that interest rates would rise. His reputation crumbled into dust. He went from a star to a jerk. When the world was looking at Larry as a failure, he decided not to give up. In 1988, Fink founded BlackRock. Just in 20 years, the company had assets of worth $1.3 trillion under management. Then comes the year 2008, along with the worst economic downturn in the US. Banks were shutting down. More than $2 trillion were lost from the global economy. But there was someone who was prepared to make money off from this crisis. The only guy who could help the Federal Reserve in getting out of the crisis. Larry Fink already knew about the crisis, and he was ready to use this as an opportunity. The United States officials had no other choice left than to call Larry Fink on board to help them in the crisis, which made him the most powerful man on Wall Street. Larry Fink became the headline of every newspaper. Everybody was talking about him. Prime ministers and presidents from all over the world started showing interest in him.
World's largest asset manager starts his annual communication with the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Speaking of financials, guys, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink's annual letter out this morning, and the world's largest asset manager announcing the firm will make climate change a focus of all of its investment strategy.
That's when BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, filed an application for a spot Bitcoin trust ETF.
BlackRock's Larry Fink is out today with his letter to shareholders.
Larry Fink.
Larry Fink.
Larry Fink.
Larry Fink and BlackRock.
Yes, we're talking about Larry Fink.
Pfizer and Moderna, companies that made COVID-19 vaccines. BlackRock is one of the largest shareholders in both of these companies. While other businesses were losing millions or even billions of dollars in weeks, BlackRock made $2.5 billion in a week. Pfizer and Moderna stocks skyrocketed. But no news channel told you about this. And there's a valid reason for this. If you have ever felt someone was controlling the narrative in society, well, here it is. BlackRock owns 90% of the media, 18% of Fox, 16% of CBS, 13% of Comcast, and 12% of Disney. As BlackRock is the largest shareholder in the majority of the news channels, Fink plays a major role in decision making, not just for media, but all the major American companies. Amazon, Google, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Apple are few of BlackRock's investments. BlackRock recruiter told on media that war is good for business. On 24th Feb 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. BlackRock was the company that made most profits out of this war, as they were the largest shareholders in the top arm manufacturers and oil companies. The same year, Chevron, ExxonMobil, and Shell made $134 billion in excess profits. While the war was hitting Ukraine, every other European country was now more conscious about their defense. The countries near Russia spent a record high money on their defense. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon Technologies and Boeing were the arm manufacturers that made huge chunk of money. Interestingly, BlackRock is the top shareholders in all of these companies. In August 2020, BlackRock became the first USA-based investment firm to access the China mutual funds industry. This means BlackRock can now invest in the Chinese companies. BlackRock has recently invested in companies that make military equipment for China and are banned in the United States. If BlackRock kept acquiring companies with this speed, then eventually everything would be under control of one corporation. The competition will vanish. Instead of multiple players in the market, there will be only one, BlackRock. In fact, it has started to happen as BlackRock is buying a lot of houses, making it difficult for normal people to compete in the real estate market and causing housing prices to rise. That's why buying a house as a normal person seems impossible today.